Hi, everybody. I'm back. Harrison's gone, thank God. Episode 173 of the Chasing Points podcast. Sam's here. Brendan's here. How are you guys doing on this, our 24th week straight of rain on the weekend in New York? How are you guys doing?
Lovely. Well, I got to say, take two was even harsher to Harrison than your take one.
You're not supposed to let the people know that. Thank you for that.
We never start over, but we had to start over today, and poor Harrison. No, I'm good, man. Yeah.
He'll be all right.
Except the rain.
Boy.
Yeah. Catches a stray. Yep.
Always.
He deserves it.
Birthday good, Brendan?
Birthday was good.
There you go.
Had a nice little Saturday with the family, went to Lowe's.
Nice. There you go. Dad stuff. Just as you approach 40, it's like my highlights going to Home Depot by yourself. Yep. It's like, there we are.
Got a nice little Saturday planned out. Yep.
I like it. So, I'm glad you enjoyed your Lowe's for your birthday. Sam, how was Mama Love's birthday?
Yeah, Patty Favs had a great birthday. Nice weekend. Daughter was in a dance recital, and she crushed it, and it was just a fun family weekend. Yeah, for sure.
I like that.
Nice.
Like what you guys did there. That was good. That was good.
What about you, my friend?
Just had some phenomenal pizza in Poughkeepsie. I had to think of where I was for a second. It is really, really good. I will share it with you guys offline. Only reason I won't share it on here is because they're going to need to give us a sponsorship first and some free pizza. Says that would definitely be worth it. But, just watched the Yankees lose the series against the Red Sox, which we'll get to.
Yep.
Got to watch some basketball, both men's and women's. Watched a little softball. Little dabble in there. Just chilled out, man. That was it. Nothing too special, Nothing too special. Let's get into some basketball, gentlemen. So you guys talked about the playoffs. We had our picks last week. I'm sure you guys went fully in depth. I didn't want to listen to your guys' voices because I would have had FOMO. So I didn't listen to the episode. So if anything that I say comes up, you can just shut me up. But we'll get into what happened. The series is tied 1-1 now. It is going back to Indiana now. And that's on Wednesday. The Thunder even up the series and win the game by 123 to 107. SGA had 34 points and 8 assists. The Halliburton had 17 points and 6 assists. He only had 5 points throughout the first 3 quarters. He scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. That is not going to do it at all. Did either of you gentlemen watch this game?
I watched game 1. I didn't really watch this game, especially when it's kind of out of hand by halftime. I turned on the Yankees, and that was close, and then got out of hand quickly too. So, Thunder's good. Yeah, but Halliburton, I mean, the inconsistency there. I know he's not like a pure scorer and like to the likes of SGA, and that's not part of his game. But on a team like the Pacers, it needs to be, So anything's possible. They had a hell of a comeback in game 1 and just clutch moments. And the last couple of years, this team's been fueled by like clutch playoff performances, but got to play 4 quarters. And Thunder are just really good, man.
The Homa for Harry.
Yeah, that's what you missed last week. A lot
I just could tell by your chat that you said that you weren't going to name the episode the Homa, and I already knew that Harrison repeated it multiple times on the podcast. So, just knowing enough what he does and his tendencies, I already knew that. Brendan, I'll spare you because I know you didn't watch it, but I did, and it was phenomenal. I know I wasn't on here last week to say what I did say to others, but after the Pacers came back and won, I knew that the Thunder were going to absolutely pounce on them and show them that they are the best team in the league, and they did. It looks like the Pacers, Rick Carlisle, adjusted the defense, and it was really, really weird what happened. It didn't really necessarily pan out for them well at all. SGA absolutely was going off. There's been conversations that I'm hearing people saying that they believe he's like a hybrid of like Kobe and Iverson, which I think is very interesting. Some people said Kobe and Jordan because of his wingspan, 6'6" guards, also with long arms, are normally very, very talented. In this case, that's what it is for SGA. He showed every ounce of being the MVP last night, but also the team around him, everybody stepped up. You had Caruso just knocking down threes, Chet doing his thing, so on and so forth. I mean, J-Dub out there doing his thing as well, too. The Pacers need Halliburton to step up. 5 points over 3 quarters is not going to do it. See, the difference is when you're facing the Knicks compared to facing the best team in the league is even on a bad day for SGA, the rest of the team is really, really good. And you're going to have to stop them, and you're going to still have to outscore them. Where the Knicks offense pretty much faltered outside of stopping Jalen Brunson. So you can try to stop SGA. Good luck with that. But if you somehow, some way do, you still have to worry about a whole other team. That was the difference in the Knicks series. You stopped Brunson. You really didn't have to worry about anything unless Cat was on, and he's very inconsistent. So you not necessarily had to worry your game plan for it. It was what it was. I still wholeheartedly believe that the Thunder are going to take the series. And I think after in the fashion that they lost the first game, respectfully speaking, I don't see the Pacers winning any more games. I do think Halliburton is going to absolutely go off in one of the 2 games in Indiana. I still don't think it's going to be enough, though.
You froze a little bit there, but we got the gist of it. Yeah, I mean,
cool. Great times.
We said a lot of it. Yeah, we said a lot of that last week too, and I know you didn't listen, but I know you picked the Thunder, and we know you well enough to know why. But yeah, no, they showed it, and yeah, you can't lose games like Game 1, and they came out ready to throw haymakers in Game 2, and this team's so good. I think I said it last week, like watching them against the Timberwolves, Mike Breen was like, there's 6 guys out there playing defense. Like it's just, yeah, if you're able to, if even one guy's not having a game, there's a whole backcourt, there's a whole front court.
They're a team.
The whole team is just stacked, and it's just fun to watch. I don't think the Pacers are going to lie down here. No. But I don't think it's going to be too long of a series if this keeps up, for sure.
If at most it'll go 6 at most. Yeah. I don't think it goes beyond that. I know it says on here who the Knicks head coach. You guys talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just talked. Tibbs getting fired was right when we started the show almost, so we talked about that for a little bit.
Well, I will say this since I am here. I believe the best choice is Mike Malone, which I'm going to assume Harrison probably said.
Yep.
That's smart. But I do believe that a dark horse is, well, not really dark horse. It's Jason Kidd, which has been talked about now. I don't think Jason Kidd should leave the Mavericks at all, especially with Cooper Flagg on his way. I think you stay put, especially with Kyrie and AD there. But I have now started to think that the Knicks don't necessarily need a mainstream head coach. What I mean by that is they don't necessarily need a guy that was
like a
Mike Malone stature, which would be great. Yeah. That would be great. But I think they can get a guy that's been an assistant coach for a while, that's been on championship teams or has the knowledge to run a team and the youthfulness, as this is a youthful movement right now in the NBA, can relate to the players a little bit more. So I think that is honestly a good look for the Knicks. But honestly, if I'm a Knicks fan, the only person that I'm thinking about is Mike Malone. Yeah. Respectfully. That's it.
New York City guy, too.
Yep. Queens, to be exact.
Mm-hmm. Does the fact that the Knicks have not announced a hire yet or a replacement yet, does that concern you guys at all? Does that signal that there's...
No. Not so much. I think, and what we said last week was, if, and more information came out since we recorded, right? There's been, first off, Dolan had nothing to do with it. Then I read something that it was all Dolan talking to the players, and whatever. But you make a move like this where a guy has brought your franchise, which has really just had a few good seasons in 25 years, brings them to a place they haven't been in so long, and you can him, like, now, like, the chips are in, like, you're going for broke here, so if this was in the works, like, what was plan A, what was plan B, and we kind of assumed that maybe Malone or another high profile name that's available or could be available would be, number one on that list. It, I haven't heard anything about Mike Malone, but again, it's kind of early in the process, and the NBA Finals are still going on. But
that's exactly where I was going to go with it. To answer Brendan's question, is that the NBA Finals are going on. I think they're kind of waiting to see, because there's a potential that they can pluck somebody off of one of those teams once it's over. Whoever the head coach is, pulling somebody from different staffs and going from there. Same thing we see in the NFL or pretty much any other major sport. I also think that it's the reason it's not alarming to me is that they're actually taking their time. In the past, what the Knicks have done is kind of just thrown spaghetti at the wall and just hope it would stick, right? And it's kind of now like you had the Isaiah Thomases in the front offices, you had the Phil Jacksons, you know, we can go down many of coaches that did not work out. So if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm very happy that they're taking their time to do this and aren't announcing just anybody, and hopefully are doing their due diligence to really dive deep, because there's the likes of Sam Cassell, which deserves a head coaching job and has for quite some time. There's Mark Jackson, who's always essentially a dark horse for all of these. I mean, he is the guy that started the Warriors franchise and put these people in places for them to win. There's a bunch of assistant coaches that are out there that are really, really, really good. There's former coaches. There's Darvin Ham still there. There's I think Budenholzer is still out there as well too, if I remember correctly. But there's several coaches out there that can be plucked and go from there, and they might take somebody and put them on the bench. I mean, Jeff Van Gundy is a assistant coach, so who knows? There could be a wild reunion with that. I mean, he's definitely one of the most recent successful coach with them. So I mean, I don't know where it goes. Again, I've already said my choice, but if they're taking their time, that's a good thing, in my opinion. So,
no, we'll see.
We shall. What we also will see, which I know is going to get you both talking, and I'm going to sit back and maybe go pop some popcorn. We just talked about the Yankees. I mentioned that I watched the Yankees lose the series against the Red Sox. I also, unfortunately, watched him lose against the Dodgers. And I don't mean just lose. I mean absolutely get beat up against the Dodgers. And I pretty much had PTSD the first game when they allowed the Dodgers to come back, and it just felt like the World Series all over again. So my question to you both, as Yankee fans and just fans of the game in general, are the Yankees pretenders or actually contenders after losing in the fashion that they've lost to both of these teams at this point?
Sam, I'll let you go first.
I think they're okay. Like, I think they'll be contenders.
Okay.
I say that because you're getting the pitching performances that you're getting at the top of your rotation from Fried and Rodon. No Garrett Cole. Ryan Yarborough's a great story, but he's a long man for a reason. He should be your fifth starter. Again, I know he found some success earlier in last month, but has not put it together recently. He can't be your fifth starter going forward. I'm not sure when Stroman's coming back. Luis Hill will come back at some point, but and the bullpen's kind of a mess. Especially losing Luke Weaver for a little bit, 4 to 6 weeks or so.
Yep.
I never thought I'd say that with Devin Williams being your closer, but it's kind of like you're nervous. But here we are. So I think they will, if they are contenders and they're not looking at it with rose-colored glasses here, that they need to shore up this rotation, shore up this bullpen, and just find some more versatility in the field as well. So, look, we have the chips to do it. First place, I think we're 4.5 ahead of Tampa Bay here. Losing a couple games here to the Red Sox hurts because making up games here, but it's a really tough league, really tough division, and we'll see. But I think they'll be there in the end in October.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely contenders. I mean, they're going through a tough stretch, going through a tough part of the schedule right now too, right? West Coast trip, come back right into the Boston series. Jazz just got back, so that's certainly a big boost here as well. To Sam's point, we've got a couple of arms on the IL here, so Heel should be back. They're saying maybe end of this month, maybe around the All-Star break. Stroh will be back as well, so I'll kind of round out the rotation a bit. Ryan Yarbrough, I think the three of us might throw harder than he does. So get back to full strength, and we're getting now into the to when the games kind of matter, right? We're about 2 months into the season now, so guys are starting to settle in, hit their stride. I'm not too concerned. Yeah.
Just curious to hear what you both thought.
Yeah, what do you think?
I feel like this happens every year with the Aaron Boone team. That there's a streak or there's a series or several series that we watch and we're like, what the hell is going on here? Right. And then all of a sudden they're in the playoffs. They're in the postseason. They did have a rough patch last year and still made it to the World Series. Right. So baseball is a obnoxiously long season that we all sit there and endure. I know we don't watch every game. Some people do. I feel like Sam watches every damn game, but whatever.
Watch a lot.
Yeah. I don't watch every game. I watch when I can or when it's on local TV and they don't try to black it out, which makes no sense because I live in New York. So thank you for that. But I just think all in all, it's just kind of what happens with the Yankees to me, under Boone. So I'm not. I still believe they're a contender. I will always believe they're a contender until Aaron Judge is no longer on this earth. Even when he's retired, I still think they'll be a contender because somehow, some way, we could just take him and throw him in for a couple of bets. But the way that they play spotty at times just annoys me. I would say that's more than anything. It annoys me, but they're definitely a contender.
Yeah.
I think to
also.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
What are you going to say? No, go, Sam.
I was just going to say, I was looking at the record of teams the record against teams over 500. They have the second best winning percentage behind the Mets. The Mets are 20-12. The Yankees are 24-16. So, I feel to your point, Brendan, about this part of the schedule and where we're at. Yeah, you need to beat these teams. I mean, I know the Red Sox have had their moments this year, and they always have the Yankees number. But you got to win these games, especially at home. But even teams under 500 too, just a pretty high record there too. So I think when you zoom out the 30,000 foot view of 162 games, it'll be okay. But yeah, just right now it's ugly. 5-5 in your last 10, but you're 20-10 in your last 30. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens too when Stanton comes back. Is that going to impact Ben Rice's playing time, which I feel like inevitably is going to. Not saying that that's something I would like to see. I hope I would like to see them play Rice more. This kind of starting him benching him versus lefties or giving a guy a spell to DH one game and Rice hits the bench. You got to give this kid some runway here, some playing time. I think like I said, playing 2 games, sitting 1, playing another game, sitting another. It's just for a guy this young who's starting to really, come through here and really starting to hit his stride. I mean, I think you got to give him consistent playing time. I'll be honest with you guys too, I'm a little worried about Dominguez. I know he's kind of gone through some injuries as well, but not looking great. And I don't know what you guys think. Let's say when Stan comes back, do you send Dominguez down for a week to AAA, try to get his stroke back?
I think you just let him figure his way out of this paper bag, this wet paper bag up here in the big leagues, and learn how to get out of this. I feel like almost like it's scolding him to send him back down. And I think to your point, like kind of with Ben Aros, you just allow them to play through. And that's the only way I feel, at least for me. I can't speak for them, but I always felt like I just need to go through that. Even if it's the worst of the worst, like I kind of need to go through this just to do that. And I don't think I understand why you send him down, but he's going to come back up and still face the same competition anyway, right? So allow him to build the confidence, allow him to be around the team, let him go through that because he's going to go through a tough patch at some point. Every baseball player does it, and sometimes several seasons in a row. So I think just keep him up and just see kind of where it goes. I just want him to get healthy. That's it.
Yeah, to the point too, the logjam's going to get even worse when G comes back here, but they didn't really expect Trent Grisham to. I know he's coming down to earth now, but to do what he was doing, and now it's you're floating 4 guys in that outfield. Well, 3. I mean, you're not touching Judge. He's either going to DH or he's playing right field. But it is weird to see Dominguez is benched one game and then he's batting 5th the next game. It's like it's just such a weird thing to look at, but. Yeah, he's young. The defense, has been fine. I've noticed Boone not subbing him out later in the games, which is, I think, a vote of confidence. Just looking at kind of the under the hood at some of the underlying numbers here, he's hitting the ball really hard. His base running value is really strong, and he's a rookie, and there's been a lot of ups and downs. But I agree with you too, Haze. Just kind of play through it, and we have the luxury of being able to do that, and then we'll just kind of deal with it when it happens. When Giancarlo comes back, if he comes back, then we'll see here. But I think he needs to stop being a switch hitter.
Yeah,
I that's my hot take. Not so hot take about most switch hitters. If you look at their splits, they're awful. I don't have it in front of me, but I can pull something up. But it's just, he's much stronger from the left side, and the right side numbers. I think he has one of his 6 home runs this year from the left side, right side, right. So
he's batting 280 against right-handed pitchers, 142 against lefties. So yeah. And you want to see some StatCast numbers, go check out Ben Rice. The guy is a metrics darling there between the hard hits and barrel rates and all that, but we'll get into another episode. But not to drag out the Yankee conversation further, but as of now, what do you guys think is the top need for the Yankees?
Well, I thought Loaizaga was going to be better than he is. I know he's coming back from a big injury, and that was gave up some runs yesterday. Hasn't looked great. Just assuming Weaver will be back by the All-Star break. I still think you need as many arms as you can out there. I mean, the Dodgers just got Kirby Yates and Michael Kopech back. Tanner Scott hasn't been, the best closer in baseball this year. Actually, technically, he's not even the closer of the Dodgers. David Roberts said there isn't one, but that bullpen is stacked. I don't know if Blake Triton's coming back at all. I don't think it matters. There's just so much talent in that pen. And, these games, especially when your starter goes, Boone's got that quick hook of 4 innings. You're going to throw Clark Schmidt or Will Warren as your 4th starter in a playoff game? Probably not. And if you do, you're going to have a quick hook there. So I think as many high leverage arms as you can get in there. Hopefully Cruz, shows what he can do. I know he's had some great outings and some tough ones, but I would do that and try to find another rotation piece. We have some minor leaguers that are, turning into some pretty good prospects. Probably wouldn't touch Lombard at this point, but I think anyone else is probably fair game or should be.
Yep.
I know that's kind of a hot take because we all like Spencer Jones, but we see that K rate and it's that's not sustainable in the big leagues. But we'll see. What do you guys think?
You want to go first, Brendan, or you want me to go
first?
No,
go for it. Yeah.
I would take Will Warren or Mr. Schmidt, even though I can't stand him, over the decision that putting a Nestor Cortez in a huge situation when he comes off an injury. But, PTSD is acting up again. I 100% am always for adding more arms to the bullpen. That's always a plus for me. I know we're fans of DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I love DJ. But I much rather have Jazz at second, and I much rather us go out and get somebody for third. And I said us like I work for the Yankees. I don't, but we're fans and we invest enough money in it. Hence the hat that I've spent money on. So I'm part of the organization too.
I think
I love DJ. I really, really do. I know, Sam, you're absolutely where I stand for him. I know, Brendan, you're essentially one too, and I think I am as well. But I think his time is coming to an end, and I think that we need to get younger. And I know, as you mentioned, Lombard is sitting there just waiting for his time to get called up, and I don't think he's ready. And in the meantime, the interim, I think we should go out and try to get an offensive third baseman, maybe a guy that plays for the Cardinals or something like that, or some other third baseman out there that you want to go and get to shore up that lineup. And also, to Brendan's point, I say let Ben play more. I know Giancarlo is coming back. I think you know how I feel, Brendan. I don't know if Sam knows how I feel about Giancarlo. Maybe you do. I do believe that he is a phenomenal hitter, but I just believe his inconsistency is not enough for what the team's going to be. And I feel like the time he shows up is the best time you need him to show up, which is during the playoffs, but during the regular season does nothing for me, really.
Yeah. I'm concerned when he returns. It changes the entire dynamic of that lineup. He's a cog on the base paths, right? He can't run.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all or nothing, right? Haze, to your point, when he's on. He's one of the best, power hitters in the league still. But when he's not, it's basically an automatic out,
Yep.
And I think we lose a lot of athleticism, which has really, been a main focus of this team in the offseason. Obviously, we're seeing it firsthand on the field.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely concerned, in addition to the reducing Ben Bryce's playing time when he comes back. So, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how they juggle that.
That's a really good point, too. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, after what he did in the postseason, he almost single-handedly got us to the World Series. And respect, and I know it's been a turbulent stay in New York. I like the stuff he said about like the AL championship rings. Like, I don't want to see anybody wearing that. Like that's not what we're here for. But at the end of the day, your best ability is availability. And, I know we like to rag on Mike Trout or Anthony Davis or any other of these guys, but G is right up there in this conversation.
Sure is.
And that's crazy. And, it sounds like what he's coming back from is tough. Who knows if he'll ever be even the player he was last year. But yeah, it's on DJ's point. I think he's looked fine. He's had 69 plate appearances since he came back.
Nice.
That said, I get it. I get it. And it sounds like the Yankees still, I don't know if it was Heyman or someone reported they want nothing to do with Nolan Arenado. And he's not having a great year at the plate anyway, but yeah, there's got to be something we could do either at second or third base. We'll see.
I think inevitably
Peraza's been great defensively, but offensively he's nothing.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
I think DJ works his way into a utility role, first, second, third. I'm telling you, I would love to see them go get someone else from the Cardinals named Brendan Donovan. On base, high contact, plays solid defense, can play a little left as well, in addition to second and third. So that would be ideal.
While you're at it, you might as well go get Lars too and bring him over. I'll take that, Mr. Duke Bar.
Bring the new bar over, yeah. And then really quick too, just the top need right now. I agree with you guys. I think they need another lockdown option in the bullpen. We haven't had a lockdown lefty since maybe Chapman or Andrew Miller, right? Tim Hill, he's good middle reliever. Doesn't really do it for me. I need someone you bring him in, gets out Ohtani in that big, or Freeman in that big spot, right?
Yeah.
They should have last October, but
yeah. But if they had someone to turn to who was dominant, put it that way. I know those are hard to come by, but if they had a Tanner Scott at that point, or if they had a high octane lefty coming out of the pen, perhaps they would have turned to him instead of Nestor. But I think that's the biggest need right now.
Still pissed off that he turned to Nestor. I want to go back to the DJ thing, and I know, Sam, what you were saying. DJ has done that to my heart over the last 3 or 4 years. I'll say 3, that he comes in and he looks so good and then gets hurt and then is not productive, and a guy that is consistently, hitting, and one of the best hitters that I think we've seen in our time of watching baseball as we've grown up. Absolutely a guy that was a symbol of consistency. He's no longer a symbol of that, unfortunately, because he can't stay on the field. So for me, it's just like, it's bittersweet. Obviously, how I've talked about like Brett Gardner, how I've talked about like Aaron Hicks and players like that are just, they don't really do it for me, and some fan favorites in some of those names. I get it. I really love DJ. I think he was an absolutely phenomenal player. Absolutely stand-up guy as well on top of that, but I just think his time has passed him at this point in time. So yeah. I believe that they absolutely go out and do something to do that. And to Brendan's point, I think this is he fills a void that we lost in Cabrera as being the utility guy. And wherever we need him to be, he goes from there. I know he would do it. I know he would do it. And it's not like a Devers situation where he just doesn't want to do it. I mean, you got Jazz that is willing to move wherever. I know DJ is willing to move whatever. He can play. He'd play any infield position outside of obviously shortstop, and go from there. I also, I'm getting to my wits' end with Volpe. If I'm going to be honest with you, I know he's young. I know that I want to give him an opportunity, and I continue to do that. And I love that he's a kid from the area that he grew up as a Yankees fan. That's great. It's a phenomenal story, and that's great if it was on Disney. But this is not on Disney, so I don't give a damn about that if it's not working out. I know he can flash the leather, but also times irritates me with that as well too. And his hitting is just not consistent, even though I know it's been a little bit better recently, from what I've seen. Just need to see something there. And I'm not one of those people that are out there is like trying to compare it to what we grew up watching. I would never do that to that young man. I hate people that are out there trying to compare it to Jeet. Like, just please stop. It's not fair at all. Please stop. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Volpe's a 250 hitter, a 260 hitter at best.
Yeah,
great glove, solid arm. I don't know, he's hitting the ball harder. That's good. That's important. There. I know we joke, offline all the time about, here's Volpe with a big spot, and there he goes. But
Volpe and Wells, just to be very clear.
Yeah, I think he's just batting too high in the order. But I think a player like that still has value. I mean, I'd like to see him run a little bit more. But
well, I think right to your point of him being too high in the lineup, if he's lower in the lineup, I think he has an opportunity to do that. It was the same feeling that I had with Brett Gardner. Is these guys are fast when they get on base and can steal base. The problem is they need to get on base, and they don't consistently, which takes away one of their biggest weapons is their speed. Yeah. And it just irritates me knowing that that's what's happening, which, again, easier said than done to hit a damn ball that's coming at you that fast. But that's what you get paid to do.
Yeah. I'd love to see him play a little more small ball,
I agree.
Maybe cut down on your swing a little bit, choke up. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's certainly not above doing that. So if he, to Sam's point, he is what he is at this point in his career. Maybe he continues to develop and takes that next step. But right now, 250, 260 hitter, probably going to steal 20 bags or so, play some good defense. But it just infuriates me that he gets up in these big situations and just pounds the ball into the ground, or freaking infield, pop up in the infield. It's just, it's frustrating. No,
not fun.
Yeah. Launch angle, sweet spot. Not good.
Well, Sam, we're in a sweet spot of this podcast because
we just ranted about the Yankees for
show us what's going on with all this power here.
Yeah. Yankees are 5. They were 2 last week. They just lost 2 of 3. I know they beat up on the Cleveland franchise, and that's great. But lost to the Red Sox. But their last 10 games, 5-5. So I have them at 5th. I have the Dodgers at 4th. There. I talked about the Tigers a lot last week about how a lot of places have them won. And just Tariq Skubal, I think he's pitched like 80 innings and he's got a zillion strikeouts, and like he's just on his way to another Cy Young award. That the bullpen's doing a good job there. They have a lot of young talent. I hate the ballpark, but even your boy Glaber's lighting it up over there. So
not my boy.
I have the Tigers at 1. Spoiler there. Mets at 2, Cubs 3, and Dodgers here at 4. So again, we talked to, during the football season, we were like, maybe we shouldn't do this every week. Kind of felt like that this week, I like the 30,000 foot view approach a little more. So maybe we'll mix it up. Honorable loser though, the Phillies just got swept by the Pirates.
Yeah.
So
Yikes.
There's that.
Yeah.
Yikes. 1-9 in their last 10 games. So that's not going to do it. But, the Red Sox look pretty good this weekend. They're about to get better. Most likely, number 1 prospect in baseball, Roman Anthony, just got called up. Just a really toolsy player. He hit the longest home run in baseball this year, majors or minors, over the weekend. It was a 497-foot grand slam.
That's
wild. I think it's the 5th furthest ball in the StatCast era or something like that, which is crazy because StatCast has been around since like 2015. So that's 10 years worth of data, 9.5 years worth of data. He's a really good player. Be interesting to see where they put him. My boy Wilyer Abreu, he's on the IL, or he's going to go on the IL. But there's a lot of players here, even with Bregman on the bench here hurt, and some other players not playing well, there's a lot of options there in Boston. But Roman Anthony's a guy to watch there, and about time he got called up. And even though it's June 9th, still a contender for Rookie of the Year. He's got that type of bat and profile. So
and we had Jack Caglione last week, right, as well. We're gonna have a front row view of both these guys coming up. Yanks are in Kansas City starting tomorrow for a 3-game set, and then Red Sox in Boston over the weekend. So
my boy Jack,
we'll see these guys firsthand.
Yeah,
well, maybe not Haze because he's blacked out from viewing there. Right?
Yeah, I'll watch it illegally somehow, some way. Don't worry about that, gentlemen. I sprung this on for the audience, so just to let you know. I sprung this on both Brendan and Sam. This question. You're building the worst franchise in the NFL. And these are things to think about. There's 9 categories that you can use. And just for time purpose, gentlemen, you don't have to use all 9 categories, especially the mascot one, because I know we don't know all the mascots. But we'll just start with that one as a mascot. Coaching, stadium, jerseys, defense, fans, city, offense, and logo. You have to build the worst franchise off of that. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first with the mascot.
Okay.
Can I start out with the mascot?
Yeah, sure.
Whatever the hell that thing is for the Chiefs, is it a wolf? Is it a demented kangaroo? I don't know what that is or how it is associated with Chiefs, but that is my worst mascot in the NFL.
Fair. There is a documentary about a Chiefs fan that wore that. And
that's not the official
he is in jail.
Yeah, he got put in jail for like 30 years robbing a bunch of banks.
Yeah.
I sat and watched that. I don't think it was on Amazon. But that's not their official mascot, right?
I'm pretty sure it is.
No, it is. It's Casey. Yeah. It's Casey Wolf is the name of it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it looks like Chuck E. Cheese. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
I didn't even know this guy existed. I know the bank robber in the wolf costume, but this guy looks like Chuck E. Cheese.
It's scary.
I think mine is
franchise in football like this. How does one of the best? Like, how do you do this? How does this?
I would say mine is the worst mascot I have, or that I think is probably Brownie the elf, which is the Browns mascot. It's terrible. Fantastic. Trust me, I almost had it was close between a Rowdy, which is the Cowboys. There's also what's his name? Victor the Viking. It's not great. Not great.
But at least those are like.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But it's still just not great.
Yeah.
So
if I can go take the unofficial route, if Brendan's doing that, this is gonna be a hot take. It's Fireman Ed. It's Fireman Ed.
I think that's valid. That's valid.
Fireman Ed.
And I actually am going to change
being a fan and ended up being in the Ring of Honor or whatever stupid thing they did. Sorry, come at me.
I'm changing my mascot. My mascot is Sir Saint. If you haven't seen the Saints mascot, that's what it looks like.
Oh, wow.
Humongous
that looks like the
chin.
Purdue mascot. Like what? Wow. Like what is that?
I don't know. That is 100% probably the worst mascot that I've ever seen.
It's like Quagmire.
Yeah.
But, giggity. Right. Yeah, that's my mascot. So we got all of our mascot. Coaching. Sam, you'll go first on your coaching.
It's Brian Schottenheimer.
Okay.
I'm factoring in here like the off season and just I don't know. I not very high on this Cowboys team. I know I picked them not to make the playoffs last year. I'd be surprised if they were, contender this year. I know the schedule's tough too, but I don't know. Brian Schottenheimer was my offensive coordinator for a number of years. I'm good there. I'd rather take someone like who doesn't have any experience, like Liam Cohen or something, and just see where that goes. I'd say shoddy.
Okay, Brendan.
Yeah, I'm right there too. I agree.
I think this is we're all on the same page on this one. It's shoddy for sure.
Clean sweep. All right.
Yep. I think we might get a clean sweep on this one too. Stadium. I'll go first. It is FedEx Field or whatever the hell they're calling it at this point, where the Commanders play. 100%. It's that stadium because it's broken.
That's where the railing fell off too, and like almost killed those fans and Jalen. Right? Yeah. It's our whatever that stadium in Washington is. Although I'm all about this Washington team in general, but the stadium is. I heard it's not great.
No. I'm saying MetLife.
Oh, because all of the turf monster that it is, and
that's a good point, man.
The turf is awful. The whole layout doesn't make sense. There's like dead ends. You have to like go then back upstairs, back down to reach your section. It's just so dull as well. Like there's just no character to it, and maybe that's because it's they have to share the stadium, the Jets and the Giants. But
I was explaining it to my brother. We saw Kendrick there a couple weeks ago, and he'd never been to MetLife, and I probably have been there for more non-sporting events and sporting events.
Same,
but it's like, okay, we'll flip on the blue lights. All right, we'll flip on the green lights. There is nothing for a $1.5-2 billion stadium in the New York metro area, if you will. Like, there's nothing about that stadium that is like memorable.
Right. There's just no character at all.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But at least it's not an entire dump, except the field.
I've seen some great concerts there. But if I'm a football player, all football players in the league pretty much hate that field. So I'll agree with them on the field. But I mean, as a person that goes to big concerts there, it's phenomenal for concerts in that aspect. Fans.
Sidebar. Do they use the same turf in football than in soccer? Football, the World Cup, or they're not using the football?
It's a different type of turf if they do that, but it's
mostly
grass. Okay. It's mostly grass. It'll probably they'll put sod out there.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay. And it's probably grown in somebody's backyard and something like that, somewhere out in Idaho or
hopefully it's better than the Arizona Super Bowl turf.
Yeah,
sorry,
I know that all too well. Yeah,
I know.
Fans. I'll go with fans. Cowboys fans, hands down. Cowboys fans. I know there's several of you listening. You can suck it. Because you guys suck and think every single year is your year, and you let us all know about it, and we have to hear about it every single year, and it hasn't been anything. Most of the young Cowboy fan right now at this point in time have inherited this travesty of a fan base and continue to further this as if they've even come close to sniffing this, and they haven't. So it's their fan base for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's just a lot there. America's team, that whole jam. But I'll say Chiefs fans. Not picking on the Chiefs here. This is the second one I've picked in addition to the mascot. But I don't know. At least the ones that I've seen around here, right, in the New York tri-state area, just front runners. They weren't with the Chiefs when Tony Gonzalez was there.
Trent Green.
Priest
Holmes.
Ooh, Priest. There you go.
Jamal Charles.
Dante Hall.
Dante Hall.
Mm-hmm. Tamba Ali. Tamba Ali. I know them. Come on now, Chiefs fans.
Who was the safety that his career got cut short? He had cancer.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He was so good.
He was
and
really
I think
good.
he was on one of those championship teams.
He was.
I loved him.
At the end,
he was great.
I know exactly what you're talking about too. It's on the tip of the tongue.
It's easy to say Cowboy fans here. I won't. My sister's a Cowboy fan. You both know that. Yep. My cousin was in town yesterday, and he's an Eagles fan. Shout out to Jay and Christian here. but he was taking shots at Tony. It was great. Sorry, Tony. I'm going to say Patriot fans just because I lived in New England and I'm a Jets fan, but New England fans are just horrible because I know a lot of them that were all up Tom Brady's ass, and now like he's gone, Bill's gone. They're far removed from all of that, and they just drop the team like just like they're over it. Some of the more casual fair weather fans, but the diehards are the diehards. But I'm just going to say Patriot fan because being a Jets Yankee fan and going to school, as you know, Brendan, and living in New England
it was rough.
Not fun.
Yeah.
It was rough.
You trip Connecticut people, and you're in New York. Like, don't give me stuff for wearing, or cheering
fair.
for who I cheer for.
That's fair.
I don't play for the Jets. I hate them too.
Defense for me is the Dolphins. They blamed my defensive coordinator and Vic Fangio and said it was his fault, and then he left and went and won a Super Bowl. They have absolutely done nothing. They have a one of the fastest offense in the league, and they cannot capitalize on it because their defense is Swiss cheese. So it has to be the Dolphins for me.
I'm not in football mode to really look at this like from a who's bad. Can I?
And are we going off of last year's performance?
Yes.
Yeah,
I prospects of this year.
Okay. Last year. Mm-hmm. Go ahead if you got one, Brendan. While Sam's thinking,
I mean, I'll take the Giants. I might pick them for offense too. So yeah, not great.
I almost went Giants, but I didn't want people to sit on here and think that I was just going to go against the whole NFC East. But the only reason I would have picked the Giants is because that defensive line is so amazing. And the fact that it is not living up to what it should be and could be, that's my issue with it. Outside of that, that's the only good thing about that defense, period. So
100%. That secondary is atrocious.
Not good.
No.
Not good. And then you guys gave us a Dory Jackson. Thanks for that.
He was awful here as well. So, yeah.
I know.
Well,
Sam, you got one.
The worst defense in the league last year was the Carolina Panthers.
That's fair.
But, they gave up 61 touchdowns last year. The second worst team was the Jags. They gave up 48. And the Panthers also gave up over 400 yards a game. But number 29 here is the Colts. I feel like even when the Colts were good at post-Peyton, their defense was there was always something missing. They had some bright spots. Who's that linebacker? Loved him. I'm not in football mode. Other than that, I feel like the Colts are consistently just
linebacker
really
for the
crappy.
Colts that end up going to the Eagles, and is that the linebacker you're talking about?
Yeah, who's that?
I don't remember his name, but I know exactly who he is. I just don't remember the name. But okay.
Yeah,
jerseys.
The Browns.
There's only one right answer here, I feel. Yeah.
I love the Browns jersey, so that's not the right answer to me.
The Steelers or the Packers when they wear those weird jerseys.
Oh, the blue and yellow ones. I hate those jerseys.
The Packers have that weird looking one, and then there's the bumblebee looking Steeler one.
The bumblebee one for the Steelers is terrible. But if we're talking about consistent jerseys, for me, it's I don't. Huh?
I think it's the Browns.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the Browns for me. I think it's the who's the team I was about to say?
I'd say the Jaguars too. If you're not into that teal.
I like the teal for them. I would probably say maybe what was the team that I had?
Great segment.
It was. I don't like the new Chargers jerseys. I don't. I really don't like the new Chargers jerseys compared to the older ones.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't like the Rams jerseys.
I don't know. I do like the Rams jerseys. The Colts were
They
going to
wear
be the
that,
other
like,
one, but it's kind of just
off-white.
like Colts jerseys
Yeah.
are just bland to me. So I just really don't necessarily care for their jerseys. It's just whatever. Yeah, it's Colts for me. Colts for me. City.
Like, if you were the worst city to have a team, the worst. Can you make this kind of like fan to stadium? I don't know how to take this.
Whichever way you want to take it. Like where if you had to start a franchise today with any of these where these teams play right now, like what city do you think is like the worst? Go? I think Cleveland for me. Because there's nothing there. Respectfully to people that are listening are from Cleveland. Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you say, Brennan?
Or Cleveland.
Yeah, not great.
I don't know, the snow, like blue collar kind of place, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Rust Belt. You know?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Good old Rust Belt. Brendan, what do you have for city? Cleveland as well, too?
Yeah, I'd probably say Cleveland as well. Or East Rutherford, New Jersey.
That's fair. Totally fair.
Yeah, there's literally nothing around it, and it's sinking.
Swamps.
And it's sinking, yep.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. The only thing that's over there that's somewhere, it's got some value is the American Dream Mall over there. So check that out while you guys are there. Offense, Brendan already said the Giants. So, Sam, it's up to you and myself.
I don't think the Giants are going to, like, don't love Russ now, but I just don't think the Giants are going to be that bad.
I agree with you, honestly.
Yeah, I think they'll be better this year, but I'm going off of last year, 2024.
I mean, who's the starting quarterback in Cleveland? Pittsburgh? We'll get to that. I know DK's there, but like, that's going to be interesting. I don't know.
Mine is the Colts because we don't know what the hell we're getting.
Yeah, I think even if there was just one quarterback there, it would be the Colts. And I know we were pumping the helium for Anthony Richardson, and he's only has like 40 career starts since high school or something like that.
Yeah,
but it's not. Shane Steichen's getting canned this year.
He's definitely getting canned. He can come back to the Eagles.
Yeah, Colts might be a good one, man.
Okay, Colts. All right, and final.
Nope. Can I change?
Yep, you can.
Saints.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that is fair.
That was a good one.
Yeah. We don't know what it's going to be.
Drew Brees behind me. Sorry, bro.
What is this? Rattler, right?
Rattler.
I think Rattler's going to have a good year.
Drafted.
I think he's going to have a good year.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when we get to our NFL breakdown. Logo, I'm going to agree with the graphic that we have here. It's 100% the Commanders because I hate everything about what they changed. I really wish it was still the Redskins. That some Karens out here just decided to speak up and wanted to get changed. Redskins. The Commanders for me. It's terrible. Terrible. America, what was it? The Washington football team before that, and then it went to the terrible.
I feel like I'd rather have the Washington football team than the Commanders. Like, hot take. I'd rather want that to be my team name.
It's terrible, but you might be right.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. I don't like the jerseys. They look like college jerseys to me. I also don't like the Browns. I'll be honest with you. I mean, the logo.
That's bad news.
What the hell is a brownie elf? I mean, it's
and then there's the dog.
And the dog too. Yeah, they have like two different things conflicting.
Yeah, like the as a marketer, like that drives me nuts. Like there's just no consistency.
Yeah, which one do I put on this one? Do I put the elf on this one? Or do I put the dog on this one?
I mean, is the dog like an unofficial logo because of the dog pound and all that?
Where
guess. Does that come from? You know what I mean? It's all kind of stems from the same thing. It's like, what are the Browns?
Yeah.
Right.
What are the Browns?
Yeah.
It's a great name for a podcast.
Meet the Browns. Yeah.
Our weekly guest
Took the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Mason Rudolph. Or is he still the quarterback? Like, who's the quarterback of the Browns now? Is it Mason Rudolph? Kenny Pickett?
It would probably be. I hope it's Shador that's starting, but it'll probably be Kenny Pickett for like 2 games. And then it'll be Shador.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be Joe. Maybe we'll see. And that concludes building the worst franchise. You guys are welcome for enduring that. And so, since Sam mentioned several times about this one team that has a bumblebee jersey, they decided to sign a particular person that, to me, is probably the most annoying person in football, Aaron Rodgers, to a 1-year deal. Do you guys care that Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler?
No.
Same. I'm over the whole Aaron Rodgers saga.
That's fair.
Just no. Don't care. Have fun, man. Glad you took a 1-year deal, and hopefully it works out for you. And hopefully you're healthy, because he did look better as year 2, post injury happened, and that team was clicking a little bit. It still wasn't enough, clearly, but I know I was beating up the Steelers this time last year, and they had a decent year with working with what they had, but I think this is going to be a disaster, and I love Mike Tomlin. They'll find a way to win.
Do you think this is Mike Tomlin's first season that he doesn't have a winning season then, Sam?
No, I was just going to say, watch, they'll find a way to win 9 or 10 games, sniff the playoffs somehow, but that's just a testament to Mike Tomlin.
So I'll ask you this then. Do you both think that this will help the Steelers or hurt the Steelers this year?
Well, I mean, I guess what was the alternative, right?
Yeah.
Was it Mason Rudolph?
Yeah. If you even go further back, they could have re-signed Justin Fields, but they played games with that. And He chose not to do that. And now he's with Sam's team. So they did have a choice in the beginning, but they kind of waited all the way to this point. They didn't really draft a quarterback in the draft, right? And they didn't do anything.
Howard, but yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be something we're gonna be talking about right throughout the season, assuming he stays healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be Aaron Rodgers of old. But yeah, I mean, Sam, you were rattling off some names there. I mean, they got DK, right? So he has a big target for once he can throw to. I mean, when he's on the Jets, obviously you had Garrett Wilson and everything, but
and then you got Adams as well too.
Right. I mean, the Steelers perennial, top defense, right? And if Rodgers can protect the ball, who knows? Yeah, like I said, maybe 10 wins. I don't think it puts them in contention for the AFC North, right? I don't think they're
Ravens, Bengals,
right? Our Browns,
Ravens are the Bengals. Kind of imagine they're going to be better.
Our Brownies are in the mix, so
they're not in the mix. I see what you did there. I think. Sorry, Sam. Respectfully, when I say this, the Steelers have a better offensive line than the Jets, and it's going to allow him to have more time to throw the ball. Do I think it's leaps and bounds better than the Jets? No, but it is better than the Jets. You got Freiermuth as well. You have DK as well. I forgot the young receiver, but he's pretty damn good as well. And as you mentioned, on the defensive side, they have a powerhouse, right? So if he's able to take care of the ball, if the offensive line holds up, he's going to pick teams apart, and it'll be year 2 after the injury. So we'll really get to see what version of Aaron Rodgers there was. Now, I know towards the end of last year for the Jets, his numbers, which people are online doing and comparing his numbers and saying it's the same as Josh Allen's. Yes, on paper, it looked like it was the same as Josh Allen's, but he was doing this in garbage time when it was already over. But I do believe that he has the capability of still throwing one of the prettiest balls that we've ever seen and being able to get and throw somebody open. I do believe he has the capability of doing that. But I will say, my disdain for Aaron Rodgers is blinding me in this situation, so I don't think they're going to do well. But my heart of hearts says that they will make the playoffs or a wild card, and that'll be it. So,
I think we'll wait and see the attention, right? But there's no hard knocks. He's not been given the keys like save our desolate franchise. Here, bring in all your guys, bring in your coaches, do all of that, right? Like you do whatever you want, essentially.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen with Tom.
That be interesting to see what would have happened if he didn't get hurt, but I don't know if it would have been much of anything as high as I was on that scenario 2 years ago. But we'll see. Maybe the pressure's off just a little bit. I don't know. They're probably leading. The news happened over the weekend, right? Like they're probably leading with all of that on SportsCenter and everything else today. We'll see when minicamp rolls around. Is he going to show up to workouts?
They weren't leading with that, by the way.
Okay, then awesome. Then maybe that is something different, But
it was in the depths of their show because the first thing they were talking about was the NBA Finals.
That's great,
and
as they should.
It was in the depths of things that they talked about, but they talked about it for sure. I don't know. I'm very curious to see how that goes. But you did mention something that I don't know if we talked about on here. But do you know what the midseason Hard Knocks is going to be this year? Either of you?
No.
The NFC East.
Okay.
So it's something I'm sure that I know 100% I'll be watching. I'm sure this might now intrigue Brendan since his team will be in there as well. But the midseason one will be Hard Knocks in NFC East this year. Last year it was the AFC North, which was very, very fun. So I'm hoping with the drama in the NFC East that it is entertaining. Needless to say, I'm absolutely going to hate that my Eagles are on Hard Knocks. I hate it. I hate it so much, but it is what it is. It's going to be entertaining. And essentially for Brendan's team, it's 2 years.
Why would they
2 years in a row?
Why would the Giants want to do that?
Huh?
Why would the Giants want to do this again?
They don't have a choice.
They don't have
feel
a choice.
Like it's all four teams in NFC East. They have no choice.
I know, but there needs to. I feel like, especially off of what happened 2 years ago or whatever it was, like there were some rules in place about like teams being picked to do Hard Knocks, like what the criteria was.
Yeah, the main one they have the option to decline, from my understanding, but the midseason one I don't think they have because they take the whole division. Whatever division they choose. Some
advice to the Giants: like have your PR look at the clips before approve them, because what happened 2 years ago was malpractice.
I don't think they'll have such a volatile situation this time. Lucky for them.
Maybe we'll get to see Joe Shane's kid drop
another phenomenal person.
Yeah. Like that'll be fun. Like trade deadline. Like who does Joe Shane's kid want? Like I'm invested in that content.
I am as well.
There, he knows what he's talking about. I'm not. No, this is not shade.
I know he really does.
The wrong New York GM got fired, man. I'm still pissed about it. But here we are.
Hey, shout out to him. I got nothing else, gentlemen. Definitely don't have anything else after that. You guys have anything else you'd like to add to this lovely podcast and this episode?
I'm going to go in hiding before the fireman Ed Stans come after me. But yeah,
I would love to meet a fireman Ed Stan and have a conversation as to why they're staying with him. Very interesting. Yeah. Well, on that note, Sam, can you close this out, good sir?
I'm sure there's a subreddit somewhere for Fireman Ed. I'm
going to find out if there is after this podcast.
That's the first thing I'm doing when we're hanging up here. But yeah, in the books for Brandon and Brendan. I've been screwing that up for like 30 years. But here we are. Yeah, I'm Sam. Thanks so much for listening. 173 in the books. So until next time, peace.
Stop raining, goddammit. Bye.